Well, mark this day on the calendar. It looks like bipartisanship, to us at least. In the wee hours of the morning, lawmakers produced a 2,000-page long $1.15 trillion spending bill to fund the government through 2016. It actually turns out to have had a little bit of something for everyone. Republicans rebuffed Democratic efforts to tighten controls around gun purchases. Republicans did not keep their promise to strip federal funding to Planned Parenthood. So it's give and take on both sides. It is expected to pass in both chambers and head to the president's desk for his signature without being impeded. Let us bring now Republican Congressman Jim Renacci from Ohio. Okay, you championed 3 points within this massive bill. Like it, hate it, happy, annoyed? Tell us.
Well, like any bill, there's good and there's bad in every one of them. The good thing about this, though, is we finally brought certainty and predictability to the American business owner and to the American individual, who in many cases has many of these tax credits or these tax preference items that they don't know what to do, whether it's Section 179, expensing, for a small business. We finally have something that we don't have to look at year after year after year and make decisions on. So many of these extenders that we passed today have been around for 20-plus years. They're just extended for a year, for 2 years. Now we have some permanency in them, and I think that's good for the American individual taxpayer along with the American small business owner.
Okay, so you put in a couple of parts of this bill. Number one, Information Reporting Simplification Act of 2015. Another one, Preventing Targeting at IRS, and core components from Stolen Identity Refund Fraud Prevention Act. Put that into plain English for our viewers right now. What's the most immediate benefit that we'd feel?
Well, the first one that's in there is a de minimis act, which really says, and many of their taxpayers and individuals get these 1099s for less than $100, and they have to refile a tax return, or they have to decide what they're going to do with those. Now, if it's less than the $100 de minimis amount, the banks won't be sending those out. Taxpayers won't have to refile tax returns. That's a real important one. Again, I was a CPA for 28 years before I came here. That just helps the American taxpayer, makes things simpler. The second one, of course, gets back to targeting. Now, if an IRS agent is caught targeting for political purposes, they can be terminated. That goes back to the lowest learner situation. Many taxpayers were concerned about that. And the third one really comes down to fraud and abuse. I had my own personal tax return that was the identity was stolen. We have to make it easier for the IRS to be able to catch these individuals. Those pieces that were added actually change how the reporting of the W-2s is done, so they can actually be a little bit better proactive. So
you can't see this, but we have a banner that says bipartisanship in D.C., question mark below you. Are we seeing that? I mean, I know that there are both sides that are happy and unhappy with certain things. We could just throw out a couple of things that are in here. No new funding for Obamacare, strengthens Homeland Security, pares back funding for the EPA, no restrictions on gun purchases, money for the president's federal prison release program, which he really liked, making permanent the earned income tax credit. Is it fair to even ask who wins this round, Republicans or Democrats?
Well, again, I think what happens when you have a bill like this, there are people on both sides that like things and dislike things, but it sure is better when it comes to the way we have been operating, to just operate on a continual CR where all we do is give the president a line and say he can't spend above that, which is a continuing resolution. So this is more detailed. Again, actually good bills many times. People are going to like some pieces, people aren't going to like other pieces. That's, I think, what the compromise is to get some of this stuff done.
Yeah, we like the word compromise. We do, because it means that the government is at least doing something and getting paid for it. We appreciate your expertise. You know, being a CPA and a small businessman before being a congressman gives people some confidence. We do want to let our viewers know we put out numerous calls to many Democrats. They either weren't available, didn't return our calls, but we are always fair and balanced here on Countdown to the Closing Bell. Thank you, Congressman. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Liz.
Jim Renacci of the great Buckeye state of Ohio. Go Browns, go Indians.